Into the burrows, the faithful tune in. Gary Mack's in the booth, let the musings begin. Orange and blue, through the highs and the lows, breaking down every pitch, cause that's how it goes. It's MetsMusings, where the stories ignite. A recap, a rant, and a Saturday night. Stats and passion, a voice fans trust. All for the team that's forever with us.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of MetsMusings. It is a first edition for 2026. I took a little bit of a long holiday, I know it, but there wasn't much going on just till the other day when, lo and behold, the Mets go and they sign Bo Bichette. Yes, they make a splash on the free agent market, but what the heck is going on? I don't understand anything that's going on with this team this year. I don't know if you do. I've listened to the experts. I know how they've made sense out of this whole thing, but to me, I don't get it. Did they sign Bo Bichette because they felt they had to make a signature of somebody? That's the only thing I can figure. They had to get a big name to suffice the fans, to make the fans happy. And they signed Bo Bichette. They're going to play him at third. Now, here's where I get confused. David Stern preached to us about making the infield and the outfield. He wanted a better defensive team. They were going to get stronger defensively. Okay, that's why they traded for Marco Semien. They got stronger up the middle with Lindor. Okay, that supposedly was the key there. And then one of the reasons Alonso was let go or was let to walk was, well, his defense wasn't that great. But they never got a first baseman to replace him. They signed Jorge Polanco, who's never played first base or hasn't played that much in the major leagues. And who knows how good he's going to be at first. And now they go sign Bo Bichette, and they're going to play him in a totally new position at third, a position he's never played. And he wasn't a stellar defensive shortstop to begin with. In fact, they moved him to second in the World Series because he had a knee injury. So what is their thinking here? What happens to Brett Beatty now? The kid has a good year last year, thinks he turns a corner, and now they're going to what? Relegate him to the bench again? Or worse, are they going to trade him? I thought we were going to go younger. What about Maurizio? What about Vientos? What about Acuna? Do they have plans to trade these guys or what? Now, had they not traded Nimmo, or had they traded him and not got back Semien, the second baseman, I would say, okay, that would have been a good move, maybe. Though I love Brandon Nimmo, but all right, I understand. So, okay. So then you're going to have Nimmo in left if you kept him. And then you'd have second, if you traded McNeil, you'd have Acuna or Beatty or Maurizio vying for that spot for second and third. Makes sense. Well, then you sign Bo Bichette. He can play second. Okay, Beatty at third. Now they're talking about Beatty at first base, and Polanco mostly is the DH. A possibility. Beatty's supposedly going to play all over the infield. He'll play first, second, third. Okay, will there be enough at bats? He's a kid that's got to play regular. We saw that. When he was called up those other times and played sparingly here and there, he struggled. Last year he played a lot and he delivered. So why do this at this time when you still need a pitcher? You still need bullpen help. And excuse me, there's only 4 outfielders on the roster. You need another 1 or 2 outfielders. Now, the latest rumors, now they're going to trade with the Cardinals. Maybe there's a rumor for Lars Nootbaar. Okay, fine. But nothing is making sense. I'm sure it's making sense in David Stearns' head. And I'm sure he knows more about the game than I do. But I got to tell you, I don't know. I just don't see it. I don't know what's going on. I've been watching the game a long time, and I can't figure it out. And what does this do to the young kids that are in the minor leagues that have potential to make the majors? They got to be looking at this and saying, well, I'm blocked here, I'm blocked there. And going back to the Bichette signing, he's got an opt-out clause after a year. So do you hold on to Beatty? Or do you send Acuna back down or hold on to him and Mauricio, those guys, and if Bichette opts out, he goes to third next year? And what about Clifford now? Does he go to first base then if Polanco doesn't work out next year? And is it going to be a next year? We don't know yet. Because there could be a strike. The CBD is up for negotiation. And, with that is always a mess. And this time it looks like the owners are going to be fighting themselves. So who knows? It's just, I don't get it. Is he buying time this year? In anticipation of a strike next year. So if Bichette opts out, they're out of the contract. I don't know if Polanco has an opt-out, but maybe he does too. And he would opt out if he has a good year. Simeon signed for a couple of years, so there's no getting anybody in at second unless they eat the money and get rid of him, depending upon the year he has. I just don't understand what they're doing. And now they're still talking about Bellinger. Okay, Bellinger makes sense for left field, but he would have made more sense for first base. And there's still a guy out there that they could have signed who's a pure hitter, and he played a lot of first base this year. And that's Luis Arias. The guy's a hit machine. They could have signed him instead of Bichette. Put him at first base, and you left Beatty at third. And then there's your infield. Arias / Polanco, if you want. Simeon at second. Lindor at short. And Beatty at third. I got to tell you, I was looking at the roster. This team does not excite me. There are no players there that I say, oh, I really want to get behind. Like I would get behind a Beatty. I like Beatty. I really like Nimmo. I liked McNeil. They're all gone now. Well, who do you? There's nobody. I'm looking at the roster and I'm saying, oh man, this is 78 wins, and I'm being generous. So what happens if this team bombs this year? Do we go into a 2027 with a lot of question marks? Undoubtedly, the manager will be gone if they don't win or compete. Who knows? David Stearns may be gone. Or is Steve Cohen turned the team over to David Stearns because he's busy with his other casinos and all of that stuff, the area around Citi Field? Maybe he's so preoccupied with that the Mets are an afterthought now. And he's giving David Stearns, he's definitely giving David Stearns free rein. And again, let me say this. I don't know what David Stern has up his sleeve. He could have a couple of deals brewing that we know nothing about. That's possible. Like I said, they're talking to the Cardinals about Laws Newfbar. I'm sure he's talking to other teams. He's talking to the Brewers about Freddie Peralta. He's probably checking in with the Tigers on Tariq Skubal, who it doesn't look like the Tigers are going to move at this particular point, but you never know. Who knows? Just a lot of what he said before, and he did meet the press this week. A lot of it just not clicking in my head. Maybe it's me, but it just doesn't seem to gel. You want to go with the youth. You want to develop the youth. So they have some good young players that they have to see if they're ready. And then they go and they sign these guys. So Bichette signed 3 years, I think $126 million. With an opt-out. Can we do away with these damn opt-outs? If you're paying somebody that kind of money, they should stay here. I'm sorry. It just is ridiculous. He's getting like $42 million. Is he going to get more than that somewhere else next year? I mean, it's possible, of course. But it just doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't like the opt-outs. But I guess that's the way they got to do business now. But pay the guy and no opt-outs. That's the deal. You don't like it, then go somewhere else. I don't know. If anybody's got any suggestions, please write me and let me know at MetsMusings@gmail.com. Drop me a line or leave a comment on the YouTube page or the Facebook group, because it befuddles me. Now, again, as I said numerous times, I think he's got a plan, and he may have things in works, or he may have people lined up that he wants to trade for, and he's just rearranging his ducks now in a row. so he can pull the trigger on a deal. I don't know. I just don't know. But like I said, the way this team is constructed right now, I don't like it. They could be great. They could win a World Series for all I know. But I don't like it, and I don't like the way it's constructed, and I don't really care for a lot of the players. Not that I don't care. It's just that I think you fans out there know what I'm talking about. You get hooked on a guy or two or three, and those are your guys. And two of my guys were let go, were traded. So, there you are. And it happens. It happens all the time. But usually you can make some sense out of the deal. Like that, I liked UB Brooks. I was a big UB Brooks fan when they traded him for Gary Carter. But heck, it made such a sense. And I was sorry to see UB Brooks go, but wow, we got Gary Carter. So that was, that's the kind of trades I'm talking about. Not getting a broken down second baseman for some people saying halfway broken down left fielder. That deal never made sense to me, and it still doesn't. And this signing of Bichette when they need pitching, and I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. I don't think there is, how can I put this, worried about the rotation. I think this is a trend that's going on in baseball. I don't think it's just the Mets. I think it's all across baseball. People are building up their bullpens and bringing in tons of arms so they can shuttle them back and forth and just go with bullpens and forget about, the starting pitching is not going to matter. The guys will go 5 innings, 4 or 5 innings, that'll be it, and then it'll all be a bullpen game. That's not the way the game should be played, I don't think. But it looks like the way it's going. And that's kind of a shame. It's really a shame. So, but we'll have to watch that as we go along. And that's what the Mets are doing. They're playing that game. They're signing a ton of minor league guys. I can't even tell you half the guys they've signed to minor league contracts with an invite to spring training to make the bullpen. So we shall see. All right, let's take a quick break, and I'll be back with some other news right after this.
Hi, this is Leonard Hollywood Aberman, and I'm here with my dear friend and co-host on the Baseball and Barbecue podcast,
Jeff the Oak Coot Cohen, and you're listening to MetsMusings with
Gary Mack.
For baseball histories, stories, and great interviews with authors and players, listen to Baseball and BBQ. For barbecue, we have great pitmasters, recipes, interviews.
Just great things. Listen, there's baseball podcasts, there's barbecue podcasts, but there's not a podcast that has both. We do. You're going to love it. Baseball and barbecue, great guests, decent hosts, but you're going to love it. So
yes,
tune in.
We have a lot of fun, and it's available on all your podcast apps.
Okay, and we're back, and the Mets have avoided arbitration with all their arbitration-eligible players. David Peterson, Tyler McGill, Francisco Alvarez, Luis Torrens, Reed Garrett, Huascar Brazaban, and Tyrone Taylor are all back in the fold for 2026. Of course, McGill and Reed Garrett are recovering from Tommy John surgery, so they will not be a factor this year at all. But at least we don't have to worry about any arbitration arbitration hearings going on, as my dog goes crazy in the background. But that's one thing good. So at least we have a center fielder, at least in Taylor, one guy. And Soto, I guess left field will be, who knows? Bange, Beatty, maybe some. Who knows? If I was those young guys, I'd be picking up a couple of gloves, first baseman's gloves. And Maurizio's a big kid. He may, pick up a first baseman's glove and get yourself some videos or something and watch them and get some workouts in at first base and tell the club, hey, I've been working out at first. Take a look. I don't know. It's worth a shot. The Mets spring training reporting dates. Pitchers and catchers report on February 12th. The first workout is February 14th. The position players report on February 16th. The first full squad workout is February 18th. So that's all of the spring training reporting dates that are most important to us. A little less than a month away now to pitches and catches. And like I said, the Mets could do something else. I'm sure they could do a whole bunch of stuff between now and spring training. It's the fans that get crazy because we like to get settled in. We like to know who we're rooting for. This whole shake, I mean, they could change the whole team by the time spring training starts. I doubt it, but of course, you know what I mean. One big deal could change everything. But let's see what happens. Again, I would sign, but now it's going to be such a glut of infielders. I would sign a Luis Arias for first base. I would have signed Bellinger. Well, they're trying to still sign Bellinger. If you remember, if you listen to this show all the time, about 2 or 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, when Bellinger first left the Dodgers and was a free agent, was sitting out there, I said the Mets should sign him cheap. They didn't. The Cubs signed him cheap. He had a terrific year. Signed a deal with them, played that out, went to the Yankees. So, had a decent year with the Yankees, and now he's on the market again. So maybe they grab him. But do you want to get him for 7 years? You don't want to pay people for 7 years. You like the short-term contracts. And you know what? I don't know what Major League Baseball can do about it. I doubt they can do anything. And this may be jealousy, but they got to do something with these Dodgers. The Dodgers can't just be signing all of these guys all the time. I mean, it just takes it doesn't mean they're going to win again, but it just takes the enthusiasm for the offseason away. Because now everybody sits around, the Dodgers are going to sign him anyway. It's not good for the game. And I'll tell you the truth, it's not good for the free agents. You're going to have teams like pulling away and saying, why should I bother? The Dodgers are going to get him in the end anyway. So there's nothing that baseball can do other than a hard cap. And they'll never go for that. And the players will never go for that. The owners will never go for that. But I don't know. It's really getting to be a little bit of a travesty. And I guess that's the system, and we have to live with it. Nothing you can really do about it. All right. Well, that'll wrap it up. MetsMusings podcast is available on Spotify, Apple, Google Play, wherever you get your podcast. We are there. And you can also see the video version on YouTube and Rumble. So check us out, and TikTok. Check us out at all of those sites. And until next time, remember, and I'm trying hard to remember this, keep the faith, stay optimistic, and let's go Mets. And I'm Gary Mack, and I'll see you next time on another edition of MetsMusings.